Hello, welcome everyone to another inventRight.com TV show. Mr. Stephen Key, inventRight.com co-founder. I'm the other co-founder. My name is Andrew Krauss. What have you been doing for the last 14 years, Steve?
Andrew, someone wrote a comment the other day that says, you guys
I love how I ask you a question, you just ignore it, and then you just what you want to do.
I know, I did. You notice that? Someone asked a question and said, hey, you guys need to do 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, okay. Well, what, and who's Siskel and who's Ebert?
I don't know. It's such a great comment. You guys, keep on listening, keep on watching. And if you know anybody that could benefit from it, share our YouTube video, you guys. We love doing this. We want to keep on doing it. We want to help you through the process. So let's get going.
All right. You did the intro this time. I love it. All right. So what's the topic today?
Andrew just got off the phone with one of our students, and he had some questions about NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Now, first of all, we have to say we're not attorneys.
Sometimes people call them confidentiality agreements too.
Fair
right?
enough. We're not. First of all, here's our disclaimer: we're not patent attorneys, thank God. But we're not patent attorneys. We're not any attorneys. We're not giving you legal advice. But we want to give you business, practical advice.
Okay.
All right. So when I first started out, Andrew, I didn't want to sign an NDA. A non-disclosure agreement, and we'll talk about what that is in just a minute. But I didn't really want to sign one. I thought it was to my disadvantage if I signed one. But today, everybody talks about like it's the big protection of their idea. Oh, you got to sign an NDA. And I'm like, I'm a little confused why people feel that way.
Well, I can understand why. They're like, oh, well, if they sign this and they have to keep it confidential and it will protect me.
Well, so I want to talk about why I think that's a little crazy. And I want to talk about some NDAs can really work in your favor, and maybe sometimes you don't have to sign one, and how to get a company to sign one. And I know we don't have a lot of time to talk about this, so I just want to dive in. A mutual NDA basically says, look, what's mine is mine, and what yours is yours. And you're not going to share my information with anybody else, and we're not going to share your information with anybody else.
Right.
So we can talk freely. We can share confidential information that's not out there in the universe, that already's out there, but we can share it privately.
And it might not say mutual NDA at the top. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But I really like that when there's the proper wording, it's saying, and when whatever is what yours is yours, what is mine. What they mean is provisional patents, maybe inventor's notebook, maybe you filed a patent,
could be
whatever protection you have.
It could be a lot of things. It could be trade secrets. It could be know-how. Hey, it's my confidential information, but you have to realize, too, sometimes when you do share it, you need to stamp it confidential, right? A lot of people don't understand that either.
Stamp it. You mean like, you're so old school, Stephen. You in the email, you're going to write confidential.
Whatever. But the point is...
Well, when you've been licensing for so long, man, there was a time where you probably had a stamp.
I did have a stamp.
That's how long you've been licensed?
No, I did have a stamp. So,
I got you.
But anyway, thank you for pointing that out. That I'm a dinosaur. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for, man.
But this whole thing about NDAs, let me tell you where they are powerful. All right?
Okay.
So, first of all, I didn't like to sign one because I thought if I protected my own idea, I was okay. And I didn't want to sign one because I wanted to get some information out of these guys.
Yeah.
You see, I was asking questions. I was maybe visiting facilities. I wanted to get some information so I could file more IP.
Right. Patent or...
So I didn't want to sign one.
Yeah.
But this is where it can be to your advantage. If I don't have any protection, right? If I have trade secrets or know-how, but maybe I haven't filed intellectual property, or maybe I don't want it to be publicly disclosed because it clocked as tick, then an NDA can be very important.
Yeah.
Now let me repeat that. If I don't want my idea to be publicly disclosed, right, because it clocked as tick, like the clock of your idea is ticking.
Yeah.
You've got 1 year. So that's one way I can use an NDA. The second way I can use an NDA, I don't have any protection whatsoever. I just have an idea.
Maybe it's something that's not patentable at all.
Correct. But realize most of those NDAs have a time limit.
3 years, 5 years, a year. They're different, yeah.
Sometimes, but if you can have one, if you could get a company to sign one that had no time on the back end, they can do anything with your idea forever.
Yeah. Now, but what gets us to probably your next point is most companies will not sign your NDA in most cases. If they're going to sign something, their attorneys vetted it. They'll send you their NDA. Sometimes it's a nice, good mutual NDA. Hey, whatever you own is what you own. Whatever we own is what you own. We each have proof for that. We don't even know what you're sending us. Just send it to us. That's good.
We have also seen some. Let's talk about some awful ones that we've seen.
Yeah. Well, I can't mention the name of the company, but there was one company that said basically, if we're interested in your idea, we'll pay you. And these are rare, but they're out there, which is why you want to read them. If we're interested in your idea, we would only have to pay you a maximum of $5,000. What?
Or some of them say that anything you show us, we don't have to pay you at all.
Some of them actually say whatever you show us, we can use freely and openly with no blah blah blah. And it's like, huh?
I know. So those are kind of rare, but there's sometimes an NDA can be powerful. Now I have seen some that says I'm going to show you an idea, and you cannot reverse engineer it. You cannot make improvements. I've seen that now. And that to me is like, wow, now that NDA has power.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is all NDAs are a little bit different, you guys. You have to read them very, very carefully. Sometimes they're important, sometimes they're not important, but they're not just one size fits all. How are you using it? What type of NDA? And we just touched upon mutual NDAs, and there's like 10 other types. So here's I want to end it with this. NDAs can be useful, right? And sometimes you got to read the fine print to make sure no one's doing anything funny with it, right? But basically, they're not the all protection of your idea.
No, most of our students, they file a provisional patent application. They're happy with that protection. It's pretty solid documentation on what you came up with and when. Lets you say patent pending.
But some people are like, they got to sign an NDA. I want them to sign mine. And you're like, whoa.
You know how I want to leave it is if you ask every company to sign your NDA, you're going to feel like you're beating your head up against a brick wall.
Because they won't do it. Even when I had my little company doing the guitar picks, people would ask, they want to show me an idea. I would never sign an NDA, ever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm working on the back room.
Yeah, something similar maybe.
And I don't want to have to prove to the guy I came up with it before you showed it to me.
Yeah. Well, and the only exception to that is in Europe. We have some European students. Companies in Europe, because they don't have the provisional patent, they're more likely to sign NDAs. But not in the U.S.
Well, you know the reason why, Andrew? Because they use that because the clock isn't ticking. They use that because if you sign an NDA, the clock isn't ticking. One last thing about NDAs, you guys, I want to say, sometimes it does give you a level of professionalism, right? It sets a standard. And what you can do, if you show a company your idea, don't show them all of it. Show them just the benefits. And then if they ask to see your IP, if they ask to see your technical drawings or know-how, then have them sign an NDA.
Yeah, and we got to wrap it up, but we should make that very clear. We're talking about right now up front. They haven't seen anything yet. But once they've seen something, companies quite often will actually sign your NDA when they want more details. So that's a very important point to qualify, Steve. Thanks for making that clear.
I didn't forget it, did I?
All right. So everyone, if you want to give us a thumbs up down there, give us a thumbs up. Steven said somebody commented it's supposed to be 2 thumbs up. Is that like a Siskel and Ebert thing? I'm dating myself there, and I don't know which one's Siskel and which one's Ebert. It's that Batman Robin thing, right? Anyway, subscribe to our YouTube show, and we'll catch up with you on the next InventRight.com TV show. Take care, everybody. Keep inventing. Bye-bye.